You got a joke?
I'm a bit worried because this is pretty risque.
Okay.
And you know that DMCA thing with Metallica? We'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm a bit worried they might DMCA me for copyright on jokes. What do you reckon? Should I just tell it and see what happens?
Depends how popular this joke is, I guess, and how wherever else it is.
Okay.
But anyway, I want to go for it. I'm not worried. Go on.
So a woman, her whole life has been afflicted quite tragically. Doctor referred her to the best plastic surgeon in town. She went and saw him. And the woman goes, "That's fantastic. How much?" And he goes, 40 grand. She goes, "Well, I've got 40 grand. I'm in." So the day of the surgery, she's lying in bed on the bed. She looks up and he looks down and goes, "New woman." And so the first bunch is from me. I felt your pain. I felt you were lonely and I wanted to give you something to pick yourself up after surgery. So that's what it was. The second bunch is from my receptionist. Obviously, she knows the situation because she booked you in. Same thing. She just felt you needed a bit of a pick-me-up. And the woman said, "What about the third bunch?" He goes,
Oh god! Oh my god! Oh man!
but we might have been DMCA'd.
We may have needed to have done something
Probably
to
good
beat
reason.
DMCA.
Probably good reason.
Lucky this is pre-recorded. Oh wow! Welcome. On that note, to another episode of the Goal Weekly Show. We're going to cover off the DMCA stuff, BlizzCon. We've seen some monitors going for cheap, which looks great as well. It's just a lot of funny, weird shit going on in the gaming world. It's bloody gaming. Anniversaries getting forgotten. And we'll read out our community's responses to our big question from last week as well. Right after this. Game on, Dan!
Game on!
Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent! Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent!
Whoa! And we're back.
What an intro.
Oh, what an intro.
Hey?
One
New
of the
vibe,
greats.
new drive.
Yeah, it's
Love
nice.
it.
It's 2021, hey?
Set in 1981.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. Jesus Christ. Welcome to the Goal Weekly Show. My name is Pete.
My name is Dan the Internet.
And for the next hour or so, we're going to talk about bloody gaming, Dan.
Because we love bloody...
No, I know you can't remember because you didn't even remember how it goes. because we like.
Oh, there's one thing we bloody love.
Bloody gaming. And you know what else we bloody love? Oh, now we.
What is it?
Barry.
Oh, Barry. Yeah, Barry's back.
Barry.
Ah, bloody gaming.
It's gaming.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank
what a
you,
legend.
Barry. You're
What
a bloody
legend.
legend, Barry. You're an absolute legend.
Good on you,
Far
Baz.
out. Good on you, Bazza.
Doesn't like gaming, by the way, though. He's not a gaming fan.
Why not?
Well, we're here to convince him otherwise.
You're a flog, Barry.
Fuck you, Barry!
Hey, what episode is this?
199.
199.
Hey!
Jesus, it's the big double ton next week, Dan.
Double ton.
And you know what we've organised?
No.
Fuck all.
In true Goa style. True Goa style. Love it.
God. No, look, there is something in the works, but it won't be for next week. But Inferno, the historian.
Oh, yes.
Chriso's been working on some an incredible interview, which is going to be wonderful. Very, very soon.
With Barry.
Barry! It's just going to be him and Barry, him in his suede jacket and with his corncob pipe and his glass of fucking cognac. And
mahogany on the wall.
Yeah, rich mahogany. Just trying to convince Barry that gaming is good. Okay, let's get into it, mate. You know, a little bit of a gag, a little bit of a ha-ha at the top there. But this is no laughing matter.
What?
And this happened during BlizzCon.
Oh,
Metallica were rocking out to BlizzCon.
It is funny.
It
is a laughing matter.
It is It is funny, but it's at the same time, it's just fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But there's footage that we've seen where on Twitch's own flagship channel, they've had Metallica on there. And they've had to actually, for fear of getting their own DMCA strike, an own goal against them, they've had to fade out the music that Metallica's playing, the rock song that they're playing, and fade in some bullshit folk stuff.
It's not. That's what's so funny about it, I think. It's the fact that the music they've used to replace Metallica is so far removed from Metallica. It's this dinky folk music.
It's like you're on hold to Telstra.
Yeah.
It's like they put their own fucking stream on hold. And that's literally what's happening. I don't get it. It's your stream. I don't understand why. Oh.
Well, Pete,
look, we're on Twitch.
If you're watching High Twitch, it's a bigger issue, Peter, and it probably comes back to the archaic music copyright laws that are in place at the moment. Look how big TikTok's become by using people's music, and how big it's become for the artist by using their music.
No, I agree.
So artists or record labels, I feel like have to get with the times to a point. But it's the law. It's all about the law that's in place.
It is the law.
The law.
It is the law.
And that's the issue, right? But it is just. It's like, have you ever seen that movie Spinal Tap? I know you haven't because it's well old.
No,
but you're aware of the premise?
Used to tell me about Spinal Tap.
So Spinal Tap was about a fake rock band that made a mockumentary, but they called it a rockumentary about their being as a band, and shit like this would happen to them. Like they there's a famous part in the movie where they wanted to revisit the Stonehenge motif for their stage, so they drew it up, but he wrote inches instead of feet. So when the Stonehenge rocks came down from the sky, that were this big, and then dwarves dancing around us on hilarious. That's this would happen in a Spinal Tap movie, so it's very funny.
It beggars belief, really. I mean, we're talking about Twitch. Twitch,
it's a common sense thing, isn't it?
Like it's owned by Amazon.
Yeah.
It's arguably the biggest content. It is the biggest gaming platform. It's arguably the biggest content gaming platform in the world. And they're having to deal with this shit. I don't understand. But anyway, bigger, smarter minds than me are running things.
And the irony being is that Metallica were famous for fighting Napster about, seeding their music out free of charge. So there's a real irony there in the fact that the champions of digital copyright.
Guess what, Metallica? Technically, you won, and it's come back around to bite you in your ass, hasn't it?
Go and say it to their face, Pete. Bet you won't.
I will.
I bet you won't.
I will. I'd love to meet Metallica.
Would you?
Yeah, even if it is under the under the premise of I'm going to get punched in the face, I'd still be happy to meet Metallica. Just on top of this as well, because BlizzCon, this was happening during BlizzCon. BlizzCon is Blizzard's big, every year they release.
This was part of the opening ceremony, wasn't it?
Yeah,
from what I read.
Along those lines. I'm not entirely sure, but it happened. But also part of this, they announced that they're re-releasing and remastering 3 of their lesser-known classics as part of the Blizzard Arcade Collection, One of those is Rock and Roll Racing. Did you ever play
Oh,
Rock and
yeah,
Roll
bloody
Racing?
oath I did.
I loved Rock and Roll Racing.
Yes.
Now, here's the shit thing. Because the game's got a licensed soundtrack, hits from Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Steppenwolf, it means that if you want to stream Rock and Roll Racing, you can't because you'll get DMCA strike.
Yes.
It's just...
Far out.
Yes, I don't know. Wow. Anyway.
What about, just a little bit of a bigger conversation on that, how do we feel about, revisiting old games and giving them a touch-up? I'm a big fan.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
One thing that so just on that, right? They announced Diablo 2 remaster.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, Diablo 2 was the first Diablo game I played, and I absolutely frothed that game.
Yep.
So when I saw that announcement, to me, well, there's one other one that I'm very excited for, but to me, that was probably the biggest announcement, right? What I don't want to see is I don't want to see game studios become complacent.
Yep.
And go, we don't have
Lazy,
to release
almost,
a brand new AAA game. We don't need new creative. We don't need a new series. None of that sort of stuff. We'll just release the old stuff. I'm looking ahead at the next 6 months at the moment, and I'm really feeling like there's a bit of a drought of major announcements for AAA games coming. And I don't know if you felt the same way, but I know a few of the guys in our wider content team. We've been talking about it. Nico Zulu, Chris O'Natty, Straight, Lukey Bangers, just been mentioning that versus last year, and granted, we've gone through 12 months of COVID,
this might be the hangover from that too.
And this could be the hangover. We're experiencing a bit of lag and we're finally catching up. But versus this time last year, I felt like we had so much more to look forward to in terms of AAA games, major titles, oh my God stuff. Stuff we were talking about, I can't wait, I've pre-ordered this. But right now, it just feels like there's a real drought.
Yep. And I'll counter that by saying that there's games I've played in my lifetime that probably even before you were born, if I'm going to be honest about it, not Pong.
Not probably, but yes, they actually have been.
Yeah. But there's games I've played that I reckon with a remake would absolutely, like the idea behind it was fantastic. A game that comes to example is Speedball 2.
Yeah, okay.
And Speedball and Speedball 2. Amazing games in the early 90s on the Amiga, yet I reckon 99% of people watching and listening to this have never heard of it, let alone played it.
Well, I've heard of it, but only through you. I've never played it.
Yeah, it's an amazing game, right? And it's a bespoke hybrid of soccer and rugby, where you just smash the shit out of each other and try and throw a ball into a hole in the wall.
So it's essentially ice hockey.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, without the ice or the
beating the shit out of each other. Gotcha.
Right. But I think I don't mind it, but I agree with you. They've got to balance it with the new original titles we know and love.
If we are remastering classics, when are we going to get our Pong remaster? Let's be honest.
That was a shit game.
And there's your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So look, the other thing to come out of BlizzCon was Overwatch 2.
Oh.
Now, I reckon anybody who's ever gone through our back catalogue of episodes would probably, for the first 75 episodes, think this was an Overwatch podcast.
What are you playing this week, Pete?
Overwatch. Because there was so much to talk about. Overwatch came out 2016.
Yeah.
We started this podcast September 2016.
Yeah.
So for me, it was that big thing, but there was so much shit coming out for Overwatch over the next 12 to 18 months.
Well,
new champions to play, new maps, new modes, competitive, the Overwatch League.
And fair play to them. They gave us content to talk about.
So much
because
content.
they were doing it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that they were creating storylines and
character development and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about. And, I'd always froth over the fact that this stuff was happening. Well, to see Overwatch 2 gave me goosebumps and chills.
Just for everyone watching, recreate your tweet on the weekend.
I think I said
something like, by the way, this week's podcast we are talking about.
Oh, yeah. I said, by the way, add down the internet. This is what this week's podcast is going to be about. And it was just the logo of Overwatch 2. This, all in capital letters. Because I'm very excited. New characters on the way, but they did reveal one character in particular. New story-based game modes. Obviously, a lot more stuff going on. What I want to see out of this game is I think there's so much lore there and so much story to be explored from Overwatch that they've teased over time and done so well with the cinematics that I want to see this game dive deeper into that. I think we've got competitive down pat. We've got the Overwatch League. We know that this is a competitive 6v6 game.
Yep.
I'm excited to see more character development and more storyline development out of this.
Yep.
So that's
When's
that.
it out? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I don't think they actually had a release date for it.
Don't rush it, guys.
Yeah, don't rush it, guys. Take your time. No cyberpunking today.
That's right.
Hey, just quickly, because I want to move on very soon to Legend of Zelda stuff.
Yes.
Because there was a glaring omission from this past week. But I just saw this on eBay, and I just wanted to bring it to people's attention. There are Dell and Alienware curved monitors going for quite cheap. Like usually you pay upwards of about $2,000 for these things. They're going for around $1,600 Australian.
Jeepers.
Yeah, which is pretty good. So if you're in the market, the Alienware 38, $1,600 Australian, just check out eBay.
I've never actually used a curved monitor in my life. I had my first experience with one on last Friday night at a friend's house. We were recording some music tracks, and I had a look at this thing. I was like, oh my God, it's literally, pun intended, a game changer.
Yeah, I think I
agree. I think people are either really for them or don't particularly care too much about them. Yeah. It might be a depth thing, I don't know, but I really liked it. I thought, oh my God, like imagine me rocking out Fortnite on that.
I reckon it looks cool. I've never used one.
No,
but it looks really freaking awesome.
And again, we have revisited this a million times in past podcasts, but there's an age-old debate about monitor versus TV, especially if you're console gaming.
Yeah.
And I've been on TV for about 5 years, and I fucking hate it. I would much rather have a little desk set up with a monitor. I find for games like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and Fortnite and stuff, where you're sort of relying on specs in the distance to know if that's a person or not, and you have to sit there on a TV. And I've got a pretty old TV, granted too, so mine's not.
See, I think you need a new TV. By the sounds of things, Dan.
Everything.
You got to stop playing on that old CRT bubble thing that you've got going on over there.
Did I ever tell you my story about the old CRT TV we had when we were?
No.
So my dad. And for people who've ever met my dad, you've met my dad.
Pazzi.
He's a strange cat.
One of the great legends.
He did a job. He's an engineer. Did a job for Time Zone, which is our West Australian arcade chain back in the mid '90s, and his payment was one of those big fuck off TVs that they used for Time Cop and the ones. Remember the old? Yeah. So we had the biggest TV in Perth pretty much for like 2 years. This is well before they were the 50-inch. 55, 60-inch behemoths. It's probably about 60 inches it was back, but this is mid 90s, right? Yeah. This thing took 8 people to carry into the house over 2 levels to get it there, right? And it was fuzzy as shit, but holy shit, it was big. Yeah. And it was like, yes!
It was all about size back in the day. It wasn't
still is, I might say.
The Sony Trinitron. I see a lot of Sony Trinitrons up on Facebook Marketplace these days, and they're the big ass, they're like from the screen to the back of it, they're like that.
Yeah.
And they're big and wide and square and flat.
And you forget how bloody heavy they are. Yeah, they're also bloody heavy.
Yep.
And that's the thing, for anyone thinking about having kids, if you've got a heavy TV, that's one thing you got to think about is tying down because these days they're so light they probably wouldn't do much damage. But the old ones can do a serious amount of damage to poor kids. So
absolutely, they can.
Heavy.
Hey, so the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary was this past week.
35 years, so what's that, 1986?
1986, yes.
And what was the game?
So the very first Legend of Zelda.
That you would have bought?
The original Legend of Zelda. No, I was a year old.
Oh, you were a year, that's right.
Yeah, mate. I don't think we got a Nintendo Entertainment System until 1990, 91, thereabouts.
So you telling me there's about 5 years of your life where you and Zelda didn't really exist together?
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And that now...
And I've got to admit, Mum and Dad constantly say to me that I whinged like a little bitch when I was a kid, right? Like I was a real crybaby.
I find that really hard to believe, Pete.
I don't. Like I was a real crybaby from the ages of 1 till about 4, 5 o'clock.
Right.
Clearly what was missing in my life was video games and Zelda. But 1986 came out in Japan, the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was the 35th anniversary, and we didn't hear dick about it. Honestly,
anywhere.
This is one of your premium franchises, Nintendo, and we didn't hear a damn thing. You know what we did get? We got a Nintendo Direct on February 17. right? Now, February 21 is the 35th, is the official date of the anniversary.
February
21.
21, okay.
Right, so February 17, we got the Nintendo Direct. And now this is a Nintendo Direct that was meant to be a pretty big one. We got news about an expansion for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Yep.
We had, which was probably my favourite reveal of the Nintendo Direct, and that is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is getting a HD remake.
Right.
Speaking of remakes.
Yeah.
Now, Skyward Sword came out on the Wii. All right?
Mm-hmm.
This one's coming with a limited edition set of themed Joy-Cons, right? So this one's coming out on the Switch. Themed Joy-Cons, they look very cool. I got the limited edition one that came out on the Wii, and it came with a 25th anniversary special orchestra CD, and it also came with a gold Wii Remote plus controller, right?
Yep.
I've still got all these, and I've still got the box and all that sort of stuff. I really enjoyed playing Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It was one of those ones where people kind of felt like it was an in-between Legend of Zelda. One where they kind of developed it and released it to keep people tied over until the next one would come out.
Yes.
Because it was in between the GameCube game Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after Skyward Sword, I think there was a heap of sort of handheld Legend of Zeldas that came out.
Yep.
And then Breath of the Wild was the next big release. And that
was, pretty big.
And, oh, Jesus Christ, Twilight Princess was around that time as well.
Mm.
Anyway, but this 25th anniversary special CD, this thing would pump. Like, it cranks. Like, I'd be driving down the cafe strip of Fremantle here, like, cranking out Hyrule theme. Like, holy shit.
Ladies!
Arm out. I'm hella,
Ladies.
hey babe, how you going? And just in the background going, dun 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 dun. Hey baby, how you going? You want me to show you my sword? All right.
Well, come to my mum's house.
Yes, it was very exciting. I've still got that CD. I still like listening to that CD. You can find it on YouTube as well.
The big question to me is, Peter, will you be getting this new limited edition?
Oh, of course.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Your man cave, I'll tell you, in 20 years' time, that man cave is going to be a thing of beauty.
Yes, and I would argue that it already is.
Well, it is, but you're navigating, you're going to have 3 kids under, 5 or 6?
3 kids under 6, yeah.
So you're navigating that danger.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The way that our replica TIE fighter made out of Lego is sitting in a million bits
no.
in the Lego bag. I couldn't even make it if I wanted to.
So, for those of you who have ever watched Lego Masters on Channel 9, the Lego dude, what's his name?
Brickman, Ryan McNaught.
Ryan McNaught, Brickman.
Legend.
Came to Perth for some big Lego exhibition that they'd put on. And he did a special catch up with me and Dan where he showed us how to make a tennis ball.
A ball, yeah.
Like a proper tennis ball out of Lego. And but to also sweeten the deal, Lego sent us each these Lego TIE fighters.
And the big one, it would have been worth $200, I reckon. Each.
Oh, I don't think 200. I think it's probably around about $100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, thereabouts.
I always thought it was 200.
Oh, now you feel a lot better about your kids smashing the shit out of it. It didn't cost that much, doesn't matter.
That's right.
And we were excited, weren't we? Like 2 kids in a candy store. Yeah.
And now it's in pieces.
A million pieces everywhere. So mine's in a cupboard. Locked away.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying. It gets back to my original point. You're at the danger. My kids are now old enough to understand. Don't touch that, or you're dead.
Yeah.
Whereas you've still got that whole. Don't touch that. Oh, sorry, Dad. Too late.
DED, dead. The way my cabinet is actually loaded up with my stuff, because my kids are so short, it goes cheapest to most expensive. So as you go up, it's like a pyramid of cheap to expensive.
There's a lesson in that for all of us.
Yeah. Now, part of this, Dan, the Nintendo Direct, all sitting there with bated breath, waiting for somebody to rock up and go, Breath of the Wild 2. We've got an update.
Ooh.
Up pops Eiji Aonuma, who is the Zelda series
That's very good
producer.
pronunciation, Peter.
Probably not. and my apologies if it isn't.
Yeah.
And here's this bloke, and just, you know, your typical Japanese producer type. You know, he's got a smile beaming from ear to ear. Yeah. Looks like the most polite, wonderful man. Lovely man you'd ever see in your entire life.
Yes.
And it looks like they've produced the absolute shit out of this. Like, this is the way this appears on the screen for the Nintendo Direct. Makes you go, oh my God, here we go. It's looking good. There he is. Just like the last time when they actually revealed the trailer, he's going to start talking. He's going to say all these sort of things, and he's there. And he goes, I'm sure a lot of you saw me and thought, there might be news about the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. He said, unfortunately, we don't have anything to share right now. And that was it. That was it, Dan.
Talk about a cock tease.
But
That's terrible.
But he's such a lovely Japanese man that you just go there, you look at him as he's sitting there and you go, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks so much for that announcement. And off he went.
You're breathtaking.
Yeah. You're Breath of the Wild taking.
Very good.
That's
a bugger.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bugger, but look, it doesn't matter. We know it's on the way. So.
But is that a classic, Peter? Classic, what we call in the radio game, the old hook and tease.
It is a classic
hook
and
tease.
tease.
Is he sort of going, let me just get these guys in the audience. The world's watching. Let me have some fun with this, guys.
It is certainly a classic.
And maybe
hook
next
and
month
tease.
you'll get a little, I don't know.
A very much stay
Because how old's that game again? Now it's old, isn't it? It's almost over 5 years old.
What?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty sure 2015. I want to say.
Yeah, so 6 years old. Let's say, for example's sake. It's time. It's time for number 2. And again, it's amazing how these ideas come to us, Pete, during these podcasts. Again, gaming companies, if you're watching, we are available for hire as creative input. $200,000 each. It's a base price, isn't it? Is that these days?
2017.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 years old. So how long is too long between games if it's like Overwatch 2 is 4 years old?
Yeah, but until it actually gets released, I don't know. So it could be longer.
Well, okay. Even more to the point, will an announcement do? What's what is the optimum time between the point a game's released and is it 3 years? You hear an announcement about number 2?
Well, okay. Clearly, for me, I think a major title like this, once they've released something like a teaser trailer, I think they've got to be hitting it at least once every 6 months in some sort of way.
100% agree with that.
Now, to watch this Nintendo Direct, right, it's clear that at some point the team has gotten together and gone, guys, we haven't said anything major about Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
What can we tell people? Somebody's gone, we don't really have anything to tell them or new to show them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're at least going to mention the fact that we don't have anything, but it can show that we know people are thinking about it and we're addressing that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So I got to give them kudos here.
Yeah.
Because they've clearly looked at the world and gone, people are talking about Breath of the Wild 2. They're probably starting to ask questions. We don't have anything new we can show them. But we may as well, we're going to at least acknowledge that it's out there in the ether.
Yeah. And that's why I feel something like Rockstar get it pretty right with their, I know there's a long time between, for example, GTA 5 and whenever 6 is coming, if it's coming. I'm guessing it is. But they've at least got Red Dead to send off.
Yeah, of course. And now with them, they've got Red Dead Online.
Again, it's what we talked about last week, wasn't it?
Grand Theft Auto 5 Online.
That's what keeps them going for quite a while. But for the people like me who want to play a new story-based game, it's probably time almost to start thinking about at least an announcement for 6.
That's a very good point, actually, Dan.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That's why they pay me the small bucks.
You're so astute.
I
actually want to see something just really quickly. I'm just going to type in GTA.
Oh, you can't type that at work, mate. You'll get.
I'll get DMCA'd. DCM. Yeah, no. See, it's always just stories that say GTA 6 release date, and then you actually dive in, and it's just we speculate.
Yeah, I feel like there's a real opportunity for gaming companies to utilize, and this is coming, and so people don't know, social media is my day in, day out with my job. There's a real opportunity for their media and marketing companies to really bring a bit more transparency. I get the theatre of announcements, and I get the theatre of keeping people wanting, but I feel like you could do a few more, Instagram posts or tweets or whatever from the office. Oh, what's he working on here? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like, I want to see more of that, because we live in an age now where information is just everywhere at our fingertips, and we have the ways and means. That's what I was saying last week to you, and I'm sure we're happy to say it here. The Facebook thing, it's a shit thing. It affected us severely. Every backlink on our Facebook page is gone. Right?
Oh God, we haven't even spoken about this because our last podcast came out
before that happened. Before that shitstorm went down. Now, okay, that's shit. But gamers are gamers, and they want to know information, so they'll just turn to other avenues to find that information. Facebook was good because it fed you what you sort of followed in a feed.
Yeah.
But Instagram still does, even though Facebook owns it. Twitter's fantastic for it, and I think it's very underutilized. And Google's there again, So gamers will always find the news. So it's actually almost an opportunity to get your stuff out there to a new audience. You're not hamstrung by that Facebook feed. Same with the gaming companies. I think have to take that mentality moving forward. You can build hype by having secrets and releasing little teasers, but to actually give away a bit of information in a structured way that makes sense for them can be probably the difference between a great selling game and a epic selling game.
No, I agree with you. Can I just touch on Facebook for a moment?
Yes, you can.
So Facebook pulled out of Australia.
Let's just process that for a minute.
Okay. Last weekend. Zuckerman! You zuck.
You suck. I'm very good.
You stupid zuck.
Yeah.
It pulled out of Australia last weekend, and I didn't know whether or not we were going to get touched. I had no idea as to whether or not we were actually going to get hit, and sure enough, we copped it. Across all of our social media, gone. All of our backlinks to our website, gone. GameOnOz.com.
But they kept all the native posts, which is quite unusual.
But here's something I'm going to toss out, right? And I think, considering that Facebook has Facebook Gaming and all of that sort of stuff, I think this is poignant. I've been through our analytics the past few days. It hasn't made a lick of difference.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I'm going to go out there and say it. I think Facebook has cocked up here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think what's happened is they've given people an opportunity to go, oh shit, maybe we actually don't need Facebook.
No.
Because if our organisation uses Facebook, we pay Facebook for advertising as well.
Yep.
Which there's some real shoddy news that I'm starting to hear out of that, by the way, about some sort of Facebook stuff. Like Trevor Long,
yes,
tech expert who you might see on Channel 9. He runs
been on this podcast before.
Been on this podcast before. He ran an experiment because all of his backlinks to his posts on his Facebook page got deleted.
Yep.
He ran an experiment and he paid Facebook for ads, right? And basically the Facebook link was essentially like a story linking back to his website, which was basically telling all his Facebook followers, fuck Facebook, come over here. Come to our website. Which, to be honest with you, is a clever thing to do. It's the smart thing, because really you should be getting off these platforms.
Yes.
If you're trying to build a presence as a business. Or even as a creator or whatever. Just remember, essentially they own you, because the second that and Facebook has shown us, they go, we don't need you anymore, or we don't want you anymore, or we flick a big switch, then you're gone and you lose all your stuff. But he posted this, and people were complaining that when they clicked the link, it actually wouldn't take them through to his website.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the only thing that I've heard. The other thing, and again, this is secondhand information, but the other thing that I've heard is that, people, since this has happened, and even before then, have been paying for Facebook advertising, for follow accounts, and then they go through and they check their follow accounts, and it's all people who work for Facebook.
Oh.
So, I know what Facebook is trying to do here. And again, I'm going to talk about this because this is a gaming podcast, yes, but tech is our thing.
Yeah.
And something like Facebook affects us all. So it's in our remit, right?
Yeah.
But I think Facebook has really fucked up here, and I don't think they read the room correctly.
No.
And
I agree.
think people have had the opportunity to come up for a breath.
Yep.
And they've gone, wow, like I don't need you.
No.
Facebook actually feels a little bit cleaner at the moment. Feels a little bit nicer to be around as well. You're not checking Facebook posts and seeing people that are just ripping into you know, other people.
And it's been nice. The break for me has been like reading a news story, not reading the news story. When in the, before last week that, one of the majors would post a news story about something, and then just the hate and vitriol in the comments.
Yeah.
It's awful. And as someone who tries to think of myself as, a fairly decent sort of person, to read what these people are writing.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And I know people are keyboard warriors, but it's nice to have a break from that,
It is disgusting. But the other thing that, like Facebook sort of creates this vortex where the algorithm feeds you the content that you love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? And so, the other thing people are probably finding now is that without that sort of constant wash of news and stuff, or videos that fit the mold that they've been building in terms of their online presence over the years. They're probably coming up to take a breath of air.
Yeah.
And it's like COVID. When COVID, the amount of people that I said, right, COVID happened during lockdown, it gave me an opportunity to reassess my life. Like, because the world stopped for a while, right? Facebook has stopped for a while. This is the world has stopped for a while moment.
Yeah.
And I think people are going, wow, I don't need Facebook. I can play games. I can go and get my news from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I can actually pick up the phone and give somebody a call rather than having to message them through Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing I think that if Facebook's going to hit the stop button on something else, maybe start with Facebook Marketplace and get rid of all the assholes who are selling Xboxes and PlayStation 5s for way too much.
Excellent idea.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
That's a fantastic idea.
Why stop there?
Yeah.
It's just We'll see. We'll see how this pans out, I guess. But
we continue, Mark Zuckerberg. You can't stop us,
You
mate.
can't stop us, Mark. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you one thing. Every time the government does get involved in private enterprise, it always fucks around the small person, doesn't it? It really does. Like these big mega giants go at each other, and yet the ones who suffer aren't them.
No.
Like the government continues to tick over. Facebook continues to tick over. They're still making their money.
Yeah.
The ones that suffer are the people who've poured, between 5 and 10 years into that platform to build a presence and have nothing to do with this argument between
exactly
Facebook and the government.
And that's what's shit about it,
Anyway.
frankly.
I just had to get that off my chest.
You feel better?
I feel a little bit better.
It was very good.
Thanks.
It was very good.
A little bit better.
It was very good.
Hey, we asked a question last week.
We did. It was put to us to talk about what's going to be the biggest, hottest game of 2021.
Yeah, and
we had no fucking idea.
No, NFI.
NFI.
And as we've addressed earlier in the show tonight as well, Dan, that may very well have something to do with the drought as well.
That's it as well. We got quite a few. Actually, the first one I saw here. So the image I used for the question that I could post on Facebook was the NBA Jam player heating up. He's heating up.
On fire.
He's on fire. That's it, yeah. And someone wrote NBA Jam.
Luke Panizza. I went to school with him.
Oh, did you? Very good, Luke.
Thanks, Penny.
Very good, Luke. So, Kieran Tolliday, I want Outriders to be a hit. The demo's out next week and it releases on the 1st of April. Hoping it'll be good as SE needs a great game to make up for the disappointment that is Avengers.
Oh, hang on. I didn't think Avengers was a disappointment.
Really? I never played it.
I've really enjoyed it. And Avengers is one of those games where I'll step out of it for a little while, a few days, and I'll jump back in and I'll be able to pretty much pick up where I left off. I have to disagree with you, Kizzo, because I really enjoyed Avengers. I think it's a great game.
Okay.
Anyway.
John Price, most certainly Star Citizen, and with the laugh emoji. That must be a joke.
Yeah, look, the joke behind that, Dan, is for people who don't know much about Star Citizen's history, is that we've been waiting for this game. It's essentially been in Kickstarter mode for 40 years.
It's like Cyberpunk.
That's an exaggeration. But no, like it's one of those ones where, it's coming.
Yeah,
and it'll,
yeah.
one day it'll get here.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
who knows?
Ben Saunders, Chivalry, Medieval Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Ann, I'm going to second God of War Ragnarok. Michael Kosick, God of War Ragnarok, hands down.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like God of War Ragnarok, I reckon if there's anything that I'm going to be looking forward to, it's probably that.
When's that out?
I don't know. That's a great question.
And why?
Well, check it out.
Why I asked that is because I won't be playing it again because it's a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, well, Dan, so will a lot of people who want to play it. I know you're an
So all this
Xbox
time I've
man,
been saying,
but-
boy. I've got no fucking idea what you're talking about. So I've
well,
never
actually,
played the game.
what's happened is that's actually these days somebody who's affectionately called their PlayStation 5 boy, and they're out there in the wilderness calling for it because they can't fucking find one. Boy! Hey, boy! It just says 2021.
Okay. That's it. See, this is the other thing. Back into this transparency stuff. I know it's a shitstorm. I know that gamers get passionate when they say it's going to be released April 1st and then it gets to March 25th and they go, oh, sorry, guys, it's going to be actually May 1st. That pisses you off, I know. But leave them just a little ballpark. And I know they say stuff like spring and summer, but give us a 3-month window.
Yeah, but
September to December.
even then, does it really matter? Well,
a year's a long time when you're waiting for a game.
Yeah, I know it is, but a 3-month window is still going to be sort of up in the air, isn't it?
I just want to know everything all the time about gaming, Pete.
Yeah, I know you do. Dan, and I appreciate that about you, and that's why we're good friends.
That's right. That's why we're doing this.
Hey,
yeah.
So, are we going to have another question for the lovely punters this week?
Well, we haven't talked about this, but I do want to ask a question of the audience.
What's that?
Straight off the bat, straight off the top of my head. Has PlayStation got an equivalent of Game Pass? I can't remember. It's one coming?
Hang on.
All right, well, let's just say Game Pass, right? So everyone's aware of Game Pass and what it is on Xbox. A streaming platform, essentially, a streaming service for games.
Mm-hmm.
It's
PlayStation Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
PlayStation Now, Xbox Game Pass. What's the piece? Is it Steam? No, it's not really, is it?
Not really, no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So anyway, any of these services where you pay a premium membership to get games for free, is there too much choice?
Well, it's the Netflix dilemma, isn't it?
I am finding the Netflix dilemma. I did that on the weekend. I said, you know what? I'm going to found a new game today on Game Pass. And I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and there was so much choice that I was a bit overwhelmed. I ended up going with Wreckfest. Excellent game.
What's Wreckfest?
Wreckfest is like a demolition derby game, arcade racer, but you smash the shit out of each other. Really good.
Sounds good. Sounds really good.
I really liked it.
It's a really good question, and yeah, it is the Netflix dilemma. And for those of you who don't have Netflix or don't know what the Netflix dilemma is, I don't know if we're first coining the phrase, but I reckon most people will get it. It's when you sit down to watch a television show, but all you end up doing is just flicking through and watching the trailers.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you get through like 14 or 15 of them and you go,
oh, well, it's time for bed.
And you turn the TV off. And and whereas you just sort of, I guess, at that stage need to pick one. One thing that I'm finding with, because I got Game Pass Ultimate on the Xbox, on the Series X, and it's that, and I'm having two issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm filling up my Xbox too quickly.
Yes.
So I'm getting to the stage where I want to download something and I go, fuck, what am I going to delete? No, I haven't, even though I haven't played a game for about a month, I'm like, one day I'll come back to it, so I don't want to delete it.
Yeah.
And, anyway, so there's that issue there. The other thing is, when I'm actually flicking through Game Pass and I see a game and I think to myself, I want to play that, I've still got to download it.
Yes.
And by the time I have gotten around to downloading it, either the feeling's passed, or I get around to the following day and I don't have the time anymore.
No,
and that's I think one of the things that is going to be really amazing to see that we're going to see in things like xCloud, we're going to see in things like Pentinet's NVIDIA GeForce Now.
Yep.
Is the cloud streaming.
Yes,
where you're going to be able to flick through like Netflix and just go
And just pick up.
I'll play that one, and you just hit play and you get started. You
Yeah.
know, so you can literally dive in
Yeah.
and go, oh, nah, I don't like it. Next one. Yeah, nah, I don't like it. Next one. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, we're in.
And that's the other thing about Game Pass. You know, as much as I would not change it, I love it. But geez, it puts a lot of pressure on developers to get the game right, because you won't probably, because it sort of essentially feels like it's free. You've probably only got them for like 5 minutes before they go, yeah.
I got to admit, Game Pass, there's a few games there that I've had Game Pass for, 3 months, coming on 3 months now. And there's games that I know that have been on there for quite some time.
Yeah.
Particularly the back catalogue stuff.
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah,
Xbox 360 stuff, your Xbox One
Yeah.
stuff.
I've had Gears of War 5 for about a year and haven't even touched it
Mate,
yet.
it's sitting there. It is sitting there for me.
What is
as
wrong
well.
with me?
And what is wrong with you? Have a listen to this. You know what I did? Right? It's sitting there. It's downloaded. It's ready to go. I sat there and I was looking at it, and I had the box lit up. Like I had the cursor over the top of it, ready to hit play. And I went, I think I'm going to buy and download Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And I fucking did that instead. And I've played Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And I'm playing that game again. And I don't know what's going on
And
with
you've never
me.
played a Gears game, have you?
I have.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah, I have. I used to muck around with my cousin back in
Oh,
the day.
okay, yeah.
And I played a bit of Gears 5.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I've got to get onto that.
Anyway,
Looks like a good game.
it is, a lot of fun from what I hear. Have you played Sekiro?
No.
Mate, get that.
All right.
It's a good game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
I'll look into it.
I think that's just about it for us.
I reckon that's it.
Have we asked a question?
Yeah.
What was the question?
Is there too much choice
Is there too much choice in games?
in Game Pass streaming stuff? So
Yeah.
I'll put that up on the socials.
I like that. So make sure if you're watching this on Twitch or if you're listening to this via our podcast, which by the way are on Listener now.
Yes.
LISTNR.
Yep.
Then please head to our socials, and guess what? Because it's native stuff, it'll be on Facebook too. Head to our socials and answer the question. Hey, just quickly, this is literally just broken as we've recorded this. So today's Tuesday, February 23. We record this on a Tuesday.
Yep.
Facebook strikes deal for return of Australian news.
Oh.
So this is just
literally
broken.
breaking news right now.
Yeah, this is on Perth now. Facebook has told the federal government it will return its site to normal and unblock Australian news organisations after Josh Frydenberg agreed to make changes to new laws targeting the platform. Mm-hmm. The Treasurer today announced amendments to the News Media and Digital Platforms Mandatory Bargaining Code. This is the stuff that they're going back and forth trying to fight over. Which he said would provide clarity to digital platforms and news media businesses about the way the code is intended to operate. The changes included a decision to designate a platform under the code, but take into account whether the tech company has made a significant contribution to Australian journalism through commercial agreements with news companies. A digital platform will be notified of the government's intention to designate prior to any final decision. Final offer for arbitration will also be made at a last resort where commercial deals cannot be reached by requiring mediation in good faith. This is all just fucking legal jargon and legal shit. But essentially, the government has been advised by Facebook that it intends to restore Australian news pages in the coming days.
So they were bluffing. I knew they'd come back.
Fuck, it's a big bluff though, isn't it?
It is a big bluff.
Like, they literally hit a button and just went overnight. See you later, Australian news services.
And back to your original point, I think this is where the cock-up is, because we've had it for haven't had it for less than a week, and we're all thinking, is life better? Probably is better.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Don't bring it back. Please don't bring it back. We're having fun. We're
had a good
seeing
game.
each other again.
Yeah,
We're playing video games. I know what the sun looks like and my kids. Have I told you about my kids? I haven't seen Mila in a year. She looks great. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for watching. If you've been watching us on Twitch, thank you very much for listening. If you're listening to us on the podcast, have a great weekend. One other thing.
What?
Oh, sorry. Just one other thing. Congratulations to everybody who won themselves cash prizes in our first community minor for the year.
Yes. Fantastic. Well
Forza
done.
7 on the weekend.
Yes.
Well done. And Gamma, special shout out to you, brother, who's a long-term community member. Enjoy the Xbox Ultimate 12-month subscription.
Yeah, man.
You're going to get a lot out of that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, cash prizes. Cash
Cash.
money.
Cha-ching!
Yes, discord.gameonoz.com if you want to check it out.
Beautiful.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Have a great weekend in gaming. And as we always say, Dan...
Don't forget to say.